Hello, it was during these days at the beginning of May in 1789 that the French Revolution began to take off. It all started okay. The king called together his parliament, or the estates as they were called, the nobles, the clergy, and the third estate, who were basically the ordinary people. But it quickly became clear he had no intention of taking any notice at all of what the third estate thought. And so they broke away and began to have their own deliberations separately, and eventually, one way and another, this led to violence and to the storming of the Bastille, that symbol of French, the king's authority, and his beheading, and eventually to the Reign of Terror, because as the movement for liberty and fraternity and equality began to develop, it was taken over by people who had a particular ideology, who enjoyed the feeling of power, and who developed a very authoritarian, dictatorial way of leading the country. And in the Reign of Terror, anybody who didn't agree with what the government were doing ran the risk of severe punishment, if not death. Most notably, among those who ran this risk were l'étranger, the foreigners, who were said to be a national anathema. In other words, they were deprived of any sense of being anybody at all. They didn't exist as far as the country was concerned, and they were also accused of creating false money, and indeed les fausses nouvelles, fake news. This was anything that was said that was contrary to what the government wanted to be said was fake news. And I think now you're, if not before, beginning to see some similarities with the situation that currently at work in America, and it struck me as I was reminded about this, about the way in which history it has this tendency to repeat itself. We don't learn our lessons, and though indeed the French Revolution may be and the Reign of Terror may be the first occasion on which this happened, it's now become all too familiar, this way in which dictatorial regimes control people. There's not a lot about to do it. Not a lot we can do about it, and I mention it partly because I thought it was interesting, but also because I think I can apply to my own life the desire not to repeat mistakes of the past. There's the saying that says, if you go on doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And sometimes we just keep on going, doing the same old things and getting the same old results, because we don't see any different way of proceeding. But this kind of just repeating over and again the same mistakes isn't terribly healthy. And sometimes we need to look at our lives and ask, are there things that we could change that might lead to different outcomes, perhaps happier, better outcomes for us and for the people around us, but things that might need to be changed at kind of the root cause, at the origin of things, basic things about the way we live and the decisions that we make. But the personal way in which we might respond is an afterthought, really. I just wanted to share with you my distress at the way things are going in America, and not only in America but in other countries too. Not least because it simply seems to be a repetition of what has been going on ever since the French Revolution, as authoritarian governments have tried to control their people in ways that leave our human rights and our freedom, our equality and our fraternity in tatters.